Okay, please. I would like to listen to you about what do you think or what kind of opinions do you have or you are collect or gather about evaluation, assessment, and testing. Those are different terms. However, you are going to combine, you are going to blend those concepts in a one definition. This is evaluation. Yes? What do you understand by assessment? Do you understand what do you think about evaluation? Luis, Luifer, or other opinions, please? I would like to hear you first. Good afternoon for everyone.
Evaluations means making a judgment or decision about learning. It use information from tests and assessment to decide
Yes,
if the goal were met.
exactly. Okay, you hear
Uh,
other
Teacher,
other opinions? Okay, tell me.
okay, for me, evaluation is the broader process of collecting and interpreting information, including
Yes,
assessment data,
yes, yes, data.
to make judgments about the effectiveness, quality, or value of a program, course,
Yes,
or learner performance.
performance. Okay, thank you. Other opinions, please.
To monitor learning process and provide feedback.
Okay, yes, yes, a process in order to get a feedback. Okay, excellent. Have you here, please? I'm going to open a space to me. I would like that you try to understand, according with the definitions that your classmates plan in this moment, you can hear some important words, main words, for example, goals, judgment, to collect information, collect evidence, yes or no? Those are
Yeah.
important. Those are important terms or concepts that you have to include in your definition of evaluation. I'm going to show you one definition. So I would like that you try to gather all of those opinions at the definition that I'm going to give you in order that you try to create your own definition. The idea is through this class, every one of you have to an idea about what is evaluation, what is assessment, and what is testing, right? Okay, other opinions, please. No more? No more opinions? Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, tell me, Isabella, other please. Damaris, Ovid, tell me.
Um, I'm Dariana Perez.
Yeah, Diana, good afternoon. Thank you. It's nice to hear your voice. Tell me.
Okay. Um, for me, evaluation is analyzing all the information to make a final judgment
Uh,
about the effectiveness of
Activeness?
learning or teaching,
Yeah,
usually at the of the process.
this is my question for you. What is the purpose of the evaluation? What is the purpose of the evaluation? Huh? Which could be the
Uh,
goal? Which could be the goal through the evaluation process when you design your process of the evaluation? Yes, when you try to get at the beginning of your class, you have to create your planification. Yes, and inside this planification, you have to design your plan of the evaluation plan. Okay, what is the purpose for working in your evaluation? Why is important to plan to create a good evaluation process?
Good afternoon, Professor.
Good
Do you
afternoon,
hear me?
Abed. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. The purpose of evaluation is to make judgment about the work, quality, or effectiveness of a
Uh-huh.
program, curriculum, or
Uh-huh.
performance.
Exactly. That's those in those lines that you give us this afternoon, you could find some important terms. In this case, is to get information like a feedback, yes, in order to improve your program, the curriculum at the same time. Yes? Okay. Other definitions about evaluation? Tell me. Other definitions that you have are assessment. What do you find about assessment?
Assessment is the ongoing process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting information about learners' prog-
Program.
progress
Yes,
and
progress. Yes.
achievement in order to improve both learning and teaching. It's broader and more continuous than testing.
Yes, exactly. Other opinions about assessment? Assessment. What is assessment for you? Yes. Other opinions. Thank you, Medina. Other opinions?
Yes, hi teacher. Assessment
Uh-huh.
means collecting information about learning using different methods.
Yeah.
Test, observation, class
Yes.
participation, etc.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
how can I say etc. in English?
What? Could you repeat it in Spanish? How? Terreno?
Etc.
And so on. Could be. I can hear in other words, escatera, but not escatera. It's so on. And
Oh,
others.
so on.
Yeah,
Okay.
another ideas. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Is etc. No, etc. I can hear in English, etc. And so on. Yes, another ideas. Okay, thank you, Luis. Other opinions about assessment? Okay.
Assessment it's a interviewer process,
Uh-huh.
looking for information,
Yes.
that information the teacher use it to understand if the students really progress or
Uh-huh.
not,
Yes,
and what
exactly.
y sí, eso, en qué parte necesita mejorar.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me, Damaris or other place, other girl place who want to participate through your
Oh,
opinion, Isabella?
I am the
now,
Damaris. Well, whatever. Don't
for me,
worry. Yes.
assessment focus on learning process,
Yes.
learning process rather than just results.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. And Damaris, what?
Um,
Uh-huh.
Assessment is generally used for assessing or deciding on personal attributes.
Yes,
Um,
exactly. Okay, I can hear some important words through your definitions. Yes, from David, Luis, Jose, Oved, Damaris, and Isabella. Yes, one of you talk about assessment. You are going to collect information through the observation, right? This is the technique. Through the observation, you are going to collect evidence about the student's behavior and attitude. How is the student reaction in front of the strategy, actions, and activity that you prepare in your classroom? Here you have to take into account the student's participation, responsibility, and other criteria. We have two kind of criteria. We have pedagogical criteria, and on the other hand, we have an skills. Yes, you have to take into account what kind of criteria could be important in order to determine how the student achieve the skills, the competence in order to improve your listening, speaking, reading, or writing. No, it depends, for example, of what kind of skill are you going to assess or evaluate. In this case, assess. Assess, consider the student's progress. Yes, through the observation, you as a teacher, during the teaching process, you are going to pay attention in the student's learning process. How is the student's language acquisition? Through one process, through one content that you try to teach them in 2 months, 3 months, or 2 years, 2 weeks. I don't know. Yes. At least for each content, probably you spend 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 week. It depends. Yes. Almost you have to spend 3 months for every term or lapse. The first moment of the pedagogical process, you have to spend 3 months. We have to spend 9th month or 11th month approximately. Yes. And you have to think not only in the testing, in the number, in the quantitative evaluation. You have to consider the qualitative evaluation. For that reason, through the observation as a technique, you have to collect many information about the student's progress during the learning process. Yes, for example, how is the student's behavior? How's the interaction with you, with the subject, and with the rest of your classmates? Take care. How the students use the new language in the class, out of the class, what kind of motivation a student developed in the class or outside the class, how is the student strategies created by themselves in order to improve their own English, how is the student's competence, how is the student's acquisition of those competence. In this case, you have to consider how the students acquire the language not only in grammar, fluency, coherence. Well, we have many criteria in order to consider how is the student's progress during a content that you teach them. Yes? As you know, many of you plant some kind of characteristics or features related with the assessment. Assessment is a process of assess. It's a systematic process in order to observe the student's progress. What kind of observation you have to do? Well, you have to collect information or evidence about how is the student's progress. Yes, take into account not only criteria related with the competence or skill, listening, speaking, reading, or writing. You have to consider how is the student's reaction in front of you and in front of the rest of the classmates. How is the tolerance of the students, values, responsibility, yes, punctuality, and others. Well, if you are going to take into account, in this case, criteria related with the skill, what kind of skill are you going to assess? Speaking, reading, writing, or listening. Yes, example, if you are going to assess the student's competence related with an activity related with, for example, written skill or writing in this case, take care that you are going to assess coherence, punctuations, grammar, vocabulary. If you are going to assess the student's oral presentation, this is the speaking skill. You are going to consider fluency, grammar, vocabulary, and coherence, pronunciation, intonation, and so on. Yes? As you see, you try to remember that you, as an English teacher, you have to consider the 4 skills. However, we are going to consider other skills like a critical thinking, culture, knowledge of the culture in this case. We are talking about not only 4 skills. 4, you have to consider 6, listen, speaking, reading, writing, knowledge of the content or culture. On the other hand, you have to consider, for example, critical thinking. How the students understand the process of learning by themselves and how they try to resolve the problems when they try to learn the new language and how they are going to use the strategy in order to acquire the new language by themselves without teachers, assistants. Yes, you have to take care. Okay, now this is assessment. Assessment is related with the qualitative evaluation because you have to take into account how is the student's reaction, attitude in front of your subject, in front of the content that you teach them. Yeah, but now the last part of the evaluation in this moment is testing. I would like to hear about what kind of information have you gotten about testing? What is testing for you? What is that exactly? What is testing? What kind of definition have you found about this evaluation? Tell me, what is testing?
Testing is the specific instrument or procedure used to gather data on a set of knowledge, skills, or abilities.
I have testing is the process of measuring knowledge or performance in a specific way, usually through exams, quizzes, or tasks with right or wrong answers.
Good. Thank you, Luis. Other opinions, please.
Testing refers to the systematic measurement of learners' performance at a particular time, usually through structured tasks or instruments like exams or quizzes. It provides a snapshot of what learners know or can do.
Thank you, Luis. That's good. Excellent. Other opinions, please. This is testing. Okay, what is testing?
Testing measures specific competence or skills.
That's good. What else? What else? Other information? Have you gotten?
Here, hello.
Hello, Sarai. Tell me.
Testing is the most specific and limited concept, fundamentally serving as a snapshot instrument for measurement. So, in accordance with Pageman's 1990 Technical definition: a test is a measurement instrument designed to elicit a specific sample of an individual behavior.
Yes. In this case, according with information given by you in this encounter, a testing is related with measurement because the teacher get the opportunity for measuring the student's knowledge about one or two or three specific contents. Yes, using in this case other kind of instrument, not only the observation. You are going to create a kind of scale from 1 to 10, from 1 to 20, from 1 to 100 in order to measure the students' knowledge. According with a specific scale, how is the student's knowledge related to a specific contents? Yes, you are going to prepare an instrument. You are going to design an instrument in order to collect information, in order to measure the students' yes, in order to measure the students' knowledge for a specific content. This is the testing. The testings could be developed at the end of the process. Meanwhile, you are going to apply in the assessment process. At the end, probably you are going to prepare a test. In that case, a written exam or test in order to evaluate the student's progress. Yes, through those scales, those grades or notes, you are going to get important information, not only for your own students. Through this grade, the students understand if those students are going to be able to get the competence, yes or no, according with the skill developed by you through these contents. Yes, if you are going to decide that your student, for example, develop a competence related with reading, with writing, with listening or speaking, you need to design and specific tools in order to evaluate the student's progress. In this case, we are going to apply, this is a kind of, this is the quantitative part of the evaluation. Yes, this is the quantitative part of the evaluation. Meanwhile, assessment is the qualitative part of the evaluation. Inside the evaluation process, we are going to find the assessment, and inside the assessment, the testing evaluation. Probably the testing could be the last part of the evaluation. It could be the last moment of the evaluation process. This is the moment when you apply a specific tool or instrument in order to collect information about the student knowledges. But before applying the test, the written test or the oral test, it depends of you, you need to collect information, to gather information and evidence about how the students progress, how the student acquire the competence step by step according with the Bloom taxonomies. Yes, you remember evaluation, comprehension, analyze, understanding, and so on. Yes, you need to watch, or you need to see how the students try to keep the control of their content. Yes, how the students understand the content by themselves, how the students try to resolve the problem, how the students collect information in order to improve the learning process by themselves. Yes, this is a reflection process, not only through the grade the student have gotten in the test. Also, you can get information through the progress of the students before taking the test for them. Yes, this is two important parts of the evaluation process. Not only evaluation is the evaluation. Evaluation is assessment and testing at the same time. Yes, let me show you this presentation because I would like that you try to understand what is that exactly. Yes, what is evaluation? Well, we have 10 minutes in order to finish this class for today. Yes, this is what is evaluation. When we prepare the process of the evaluation, you have to reflect or create reflection, answer those questions. What? Why we are going to design an evaluation? What do you want to evaluate? How you are going to evaluate? When you are going to apply the evaluation, and where you are going to apply the evaluation. You only design, for example, a written test. Yes. The common instrument or the common tool used by teachers to assess the student progress is the test, the written test, more than others. More than, for example, to evaluate the students, the oral presentation. Yes, we can design on a scale. This is a numerical profile, graphical profile, analytic marking scheme, or checklist, yes or no, other kind of instrument. It depends of the knowledge that you have. It depends according of the activity that you need to assess at the contents that you teach your students before. Yes, for that evaluation is the process. Yes, in order to create a judgment, good or bad, through the evidence, in order to get evidence, to collect evidence according with some criteria. Yes, remember that criteria is one. This is Latin. Yes, criteria one. Criteria is criterios. In order to sum up, the definition of the evaluation is the process of making adjustments based on criteria and evidence. Yet you collect information, collect the student's reaction, but not only to write in a piece of paper to write the observation or description of how was the student's behavior or student's reaction and attitude in front of the content, in front of you, in front of the subject, in front of the classmate. You need to collect information. Yeah, you need to register the information using specific tools. You have to design instruments. How you are going to decide the instrument? First, collect the instrument according with the content, according with the skills that you need to evaluate. Yes, listen, speaking, reading, writing. Are you going to assess grammar? Are you going to assess coherence? Are you going to assess vocabulary? Yes, other kind of competence. How you are going to register this information? Just description? Or you are going to add information from a specific number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. In this case, the evaluation probably is exchanging information between teacher and students. When I start my classes with my students and I show them my program, I always discuss this program and the evaluation process with my students because they need to understand how we are going to assess my students at the same time. And you need to get a feedback about the students' information given to you in order to improve your own evaluation process. Yes, the evaluation process is not only a process created by teachers. You need to enrich and engage your own evaluation process, taking into account the students' opinions, point of view. Where are they thinking about your planification? Where are they thinking about your evaluation? This is a part that we name as an assessment. The assessment not only for the student, the assessment is for you as well. Yes. For that reason, when you are going to create your evaluation process, you have to think, where are you going? When are you going to evaluate or assess your student? How you are going to assess your student and why? And what are you going to do to create a good atmosphere and good environment in order to improve the process of the assessment, avoiding other kind of critical behaviors and attitudes when you apply a written test in your students, right? How do you feel when your teachers apply tests, written tests? You feel so bad. I never see other students smiling during a written test. Have you seen that before? No, never. Yes, what have to do in order to create a good environment when you apply a written test? You can do it, but you have to avoid the anxious of your students, the depression, and other cognitive features that you symptom that you can see in your students when you apply at the evaluation, for example. Yes. For that reason, you can evaluate your students without applying a written test. Yes? Do you follow me or not? What are you thinking?
Yes.
How do you feel when you, as a student, are going to apply a written test? How do you feel? You feel terrible. You feel, for example, excited. I don't know. You don't feel happy. you need you decide to develop your test in a good atmosphere with easy items, yes or no? Yes, clear instructions without any interruptions. Well, we have many features to consider when you design your evaluation plan. Yes, or your evaluation tool, or your evaluation techniques or instruments. Yes? Okay, let me show you something. For that reason, what do you understand by testing, assessment, and evaluation? Evaluation is a big process. It's a systematic process in order to collect evidence to give a judgment. Yes or no? This is the evaluation process. But when you apply the evaluation process as a whole, you have to consider the qualitative or formative